In TA 697, a motley crew of humanoids gathers in Ashenhold of Lormach. Each with their own reasons, they prepare to travel to Drakias, a mysterious island not far from the continent of Artarius, inhabited by Dragonkin. The crew mostly consists of members of the Voidbreakers, a minor adventuring guild of Lormach, and members of the Ecclestrium, one of the three great factions. Their official mission is to reach the port city of Razax, where the local population has called upon the Voidbreakers to assist them with an unusual problem. Officially, members of the Ecclestrium are there to provide support and guidance to Kael'ren, one of the Grand Masters of the Voidbreakers, who is leading the Voidbreakers on this mission. Just before reaching Drakias, an unusual storm, as if conjured by magic, shatters their ship. Many of the Voidbreakers pay the ultimate price, and much of their equipment is lost. Barthrand of the Ecclestrium is nowhere to be found. The survivors are attacked by the Esperants, a Dragonkin cult with unknown motives. The survivors of the shipwreck and the ambush eventually find themselves in Razax. Inside Razax, it is revealed by Kael'ren that the Voidbreakers were actually called to deal with the Esperants, as most of the Dragonkin soldiers of Drakias are involved in the Ezream War, a devastating conflict that has pitted all three of the great factions against each other and has raged across the central part of Artarius since TA 691. A group of particularly talented humanoids consisting of Bolin, a dwarf and member of the Ecclestrium, Arakel, an elf and also member of the Ecclestrium, Orlos, a human and Arakel's friend, and Garvan, an orc and member of the Voidbreakers, is tasked by Kael'ren to help the local populace in any way possible and gain their trust. Kael'ren gives them this task as he suspects that the Esperants have infiltrated the city and have spies and or sympathizers within the city walls. The group, however, completely fails this quest and manages to antagonize some of the most powerful individuals of Razax in the process. After spending a few nights in the city dungeons, they are thrown out of the city. Garvan's membership with the Voidbreakers, the only proper family that he truly respected, ends because of the actions of his companions. Yet before they leave Razax, Kael'ren points Garvan west, claiming that he will find a Dragonkin innkeeper named Essen that will somehow help him. With no other options, the ragtag group of would-be adventurers goes west and, after killing some savage trolls, eventually stumbles upon Essen. The savage trolls were a problem for Essen and the small community of outcast Dragonkin that he leads. Grateful, Essen leads the adventurers into a small and secluded hamlet named Filzar, where the outcasts, those that have rejected the Dragonkin caste system and way of life, live. The outcasts are hunted by the rest of their kin for rejecting the caste system and are currently hiding from them in Filzar. The adventurers spend some time in Filzar and help however they can the local population that has accepted them into their little community. In the course of their stay, they discover that Filzar is actually built on the ruins of an ancient dwarven settlement. After the adventurers clear the ruins from most of the dire spiders and Kugwar, dwarven arms and armaments, as well as an ancient altar of the One, are, much to Bolin's joy, retrieved from the ruins. While on a mission of his own in the nearby town of Visnia, Essen saw a dwarf that resembled Arakel's mentor Barthrand of the Ecclestrium. After sending him letters via Essen's contacts in Visnia, Barthrand shows up in Filzar and explains that he got separated from the shipwreck and wandered into Visnia, unlike the rest of the crew. There he began preparations for his true mission and the real reason why members of the Ecclestrium were on Drakias, to confirm recently unearthed information that the dwarves of Hadrimar obtained after excavating parts of the now destroyed old Hadrimar ruins. This information pertains to the Taint, the supernatural blight that turns living creatures into undead, or rather, its cure. Barthrand also shares with the adventurers something that leaves both Bolin and Arakald in shock. The Ezrium mines of Hadumar have been all but depleted. The future of the Ecclesium hangs in the balance. It must come up on top in the Ezrium War. As such, members of the Ecclesium should not antagonize any of their allies, including the Dragonkin of Drakius. On the night that Barthrand arrived to Filzar, the group was attacked by assassins. It was only by pure luck, or the will of the One, that the group survived. Essen and Barthrand were killed during the assault. Invoking the power of his deity, Bolin, alongside Arakald, managed to bring them back to life, shaking the very core of Filzar in the process and revealing more dwarven structures hidden in the mountains surrounding Filzar. Shortly after the assassins' attack, Barthrand sent word to the Ecclesium of the group's findings, and particularly the ancient dwarven ruins discovered underneath Filzar. At some point, the Ecclesium decided to support the dwarven kingdom of Hadumar in securing rights to Filzar. After piling enough coin and favors, Filzar officially became part of the dwarven sphere of influence. As the unearthing of the ruins beneath Hadumar continues, it was discovered that the island of Drakius was not an island at all before the Breakening, but a part of Arterius and the place of the now lost dwarven kingdom of Hammerdeep. It is also rediscovered that the dwarves of Hammerdeep were the first to defy the dragons during the Age of Dragons, refusing to worship them as gods. For their defiance, their kingdom was all but destroyed. Yet the resilient spirit of the dwarves endured, and they rebuilt a few centuries later. Never forgetting nor forgiving the dragons for their cruelty, they were amongst the few that led the rebellion against the draconic overlords, and are credited for killing 2 of the archdragons. The stone tablets of lore also speak of cooperation between the dwarves and the angels of the One, who helped the dwarves not only in combating the dragons, but also in the creation of powerful divine artifacts, as well as temples of the One throughout all of Arterius. Honoring the dwarven legends of old, the King of Hadumar issues an edict in which he changed the name of the hamlet of Filzar to Hammerdeep. It is now the first month of TA 698. 7 months have passed since the assassins' attack on the adventurers. For the last month, large amount of dwarves, both pilgrims and workers, have been flocking to Hammerdeep to help in its rebuilding. The Dragonkin denizens that already live there are all granted new citizenship as the first denizens of Hammerdeep, and are now all under the protection of Hadumar as well as the Ecclesium. As such, they are no longer haunted by the rest of their kin. With their base of operations finally established, Barthrand called upon Caelrin and the remaining Voidbreakers to come to Hammerdeep. Caelrin officially accepted his invitation and is on his way with the rest of the Voidbreakers. Barthrand gives the adventurers a new mission: travel to Razax and ensure that Caelrin and the Voidbreakers reach Hammerdeep safely. The dwarves of Hadumar bring with them not only valuable supplies to Hammerdeep, but news and rumors from other parts of Arterius. The adventurers were left worried upon hearing that the Taint had resurfaced within the human kingdom of Abandon, near the village of Nizav, as a result of demonic activity and magical anomalies. Rumors also speak that an entire mage guild, known as the Archons, was lost battling the Taint, due to the actions of a few traitors within their own ranks. Nizav and its surrounding area are now secured thanks to the efforts of Protector Yondel and the Seekers, one of the 3 great factions. The civil war in Abaddon between Protector Yondel and Prince Venceslav is still ongoing. News say that the participants of the Ezrium War have once again resumed fighting after a series of failed negotiations. Apparently, no faction could come to terms on how to divide the rich Ezrium mines in the area amongst themselves. Ownership of the mines changes from week to week, depending on what faction gains the upper hand in the conflicts. All of the factions, as well as the kingdoms supporting them, have suffered great losses, leaving many centers of civilization without proper defenses against savage beasts and monsters of the wilderness. The Nosmer have apparently moved on from Drakius, and ever since the influx of dwarves from Hardimar, have no longer been seen in the vicinity of Hammerdeep.